I don't believe any experience is experience lost. Whether or not you're working a seemingly dead-end job in a fast food retail chain restaurant, or maybe you're just an intern at a startup, or maybe even you're working for a very litigious company, or finally you could be a business owner, someone who tries to set his life on his own terms. Now, the problem with working these so-called odd jobs, people might say, they tend to overlook the skills that they can gain from working in these entry-level positions, what people would call minor roles. In my opinion, there are just so many transferable skills that you can use in a more prestigious job position and everything else that you do in life. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about my 4, you can say 3.5 work experiences. But before I tell you all of my experiences, I have an important announcement to make at the end of this video. So I guess I'm going to start with my very first experience in trying to earn money. Back in junior high, I have this friend of mine. He's a very solid guy. I'm still pretty good friends with him. By that time, social media is already very rampant. It's very normalized. I've lived half of my life with social media. So the problem with that is I started to listen to a lot of business gurus. Me and my friend, we were around 14, 15 years old. We were still quite young in junior high. And we came across this, let's just call him Indonesian business guru. Basically offered dropshipping services, custom-made phone cases. So me and my friend, we thought to ourselves, maybe we can make money from here. There's quite a lot of people who actually have phones and they sure as hell do need a phone case with it. It was quite a cheap entry fee for us to pay, even for, junior high students at that time. So what we did was we go half and half and we paid for the entrance fee. Boom, we're in. We're basically in this portal where we can order in some phone cases, we can have them custom made, and we can drop ship them to immediately send to our buyers. Now, the problem that arises with that service that this dude offered, right? Before we even joined the group, we thought to ourselves, dude, if we just take in 10-20% profit margin, we can sell them for cheap. We can still make money out of this. We essentially can kind of make a sustainable business out of this. Our naive souls got hit with a reality once we saw the price for just one phone case. Let me put it this way, just one phone case made by them and sent out without even accounting for delivery fees. It was, let's say, 2 times the price of the industry standard at that time, where people can make custom phone cases with more prestigious, more established phone case businesses. They can do that in half, whereas us, it was very expensive. Anyways, we sold grand total of 5 cases and we only sold them to our other friends. So we basically decided to close shop. So we made back our money for the registration fee and we decided, nah, we're just getting screwed over this. And that ends my very first experience in trying to earn money. Fast forward a few years later, I'm in high school now and I found out that I had a really bad habit. Now, I've swore by that I've actually kicked this habit out of me, but I had a problem with spending money. I was quite consumerist back in the day. I really like shiny new things. It's not as if I like designer brands or anything of that sort. Well, kind of. I was into Jordans back in the day, which was kind of cringe because I don't actually play basketball. I just want to look cool in front of the cool kids and everything. But continuing on, I decided at that time, which was around early 2021, I've decided to sell off a lot of my second-hand items. So I opened my very first online store in a very popular e-commerce marketplace in Indonesia, Tokopedia. You can probably still find it on Tokopedia, but my store is called Bekas Bagus 123. I remember when I opened that store, there was this one item in mind that I had in my hand and I just felt like, okay, I need money quick. I've just bought a new CPU and I just need to sell off my old one. For those who are not too fluent in computer lingo, I basically have this processor, which is the brain of the computer, from my PC, and I felt like I could fetch a hefty amount of money with it, because at that time it was an APU, so it has an integrated graphics inside of the CPU, which at that time was quite expensive. A GPU is. It was probably at the height of Bitcoin mining, really. I've sold my very first CPU, and yeah, that's where I earned my very first online money, I guess. Just being resourceful, not really earning money from, doing actual business or anything. I was just being resourceful. But then I realized that, damn, it is so easy to actually sell something online if you're, I don't know why I'm holding my belt, if you know your stuff, basically. So I've decided to pick loads and loads of things from my room. A lot of them are unused. I had a pair of headphones that I sold. I also had a lot of technologies, really, like my old tech. So I've listed them online and sold them. I started to actually take a few items from my family. They basically gave me those things that they don't need anymore, and I sold them in my Tokopedia store. My best sell was probably my mom's old phone, because once I've sold it, her being the best mom ever, she gave all of the revenue, all of the profits, just for me to keep for myself. For allowance, that is. And yeah, I ran this store for probably a year and a half before I moved to the UK for uni and stuff. I've just thought of it this way, but you know the saying, you either die a hero or live long enough to be the villain? I realized that my online store, before I moved to the UK, that is, actually devolved into selling Pokemon cards. Yeah, back in COVID, me and my friends, we went through a Pokemon TCG phase, which I'm not proud of, really. The amount of money that we spend just to buy this flimsy little cards. It's not even one of those collector cards that you can make money out of. It's more cards that are playable in that generation's era, or whatever it is you'd call it. But yeah, then I moved to the UK. Goodbye for now for my e-commerce store. Now, in the UK, 6 months in, I was still in my first year in uni, and one of my friends actually bragged to me about this. He landed a part-time job in York, so it's a half an hour travel from Leeds to York, and he got a job as a part-time housekeeper in a hotel. Now, imagine this, coming from a third world country like Indonesia, right? And you're moving to the United Kingdom, and you know how expensive shit are, and you're trying to fend off for yourself because mommy and daddy is not actually looking after you 24/7 anymore. Once he told me how much money he made from work by the hour, it is unfathomable to think about just how much you get paid so much less back in Indonesia. Even some jobs that require some more expertise that a lot of people wouldn't possess, they just get paid breadcrumbs sometimes in comparison with when you get paid here. So me being the money hungry goblin such as myself, I've decided to work on my CV. I don't know, by sheer luck or it is just God's will or anything, but after the second or third job I've applied for, I got an interview. And when I came to that interview, I actually landed the job. So I don't know if you're listening to this right now, Layla, but she's my very first manager. I miss her, man. She is such a good person. She's a good lady. She looked after all of us. And yeah, it was such a pleasure to work with you. Work at this place called Greggs. So if you don't know what Greggs is, it's basically UK's McDonald's. The most popular things that they sell are pastries, and yeah, it's sort of like a bakery, but then again the vibes in there is more so of a fast food chain setting. So yeah, worked there for quite a long time really. Not exactly a 1 year long time. I'm going to talk to you about that later. But I worked there for 10 months. Now, how was it working there? I must say that working in Grex, if it were not for the people, if it were not for the regulars that come in that say hi, I slowly kind of get to know after serving them every day. And also my solid colleagues. Man, the people, I don't know how, but the people that I was working in, all of them are pretty good people. And yeah, they got my ass back. Yeah, if it were not for those things, it it was kind of hell really. Our shifts were only 4 hours in length, and in those 4 hours you can kind of feel like your soul dwindling above your body and trying to scream at you like, what the hell is going on? The queue seems to never end. This is just a, let's just say, an observation. A lot of people who are in lower to middle class people, working class people, you would say, a lot of them are nice, but some of them are just assholes, man. Some of them would cuss you off for no apparent reason. They would get easily agitated, and they just seem to have no time in their life, that they just don't want to be patient. Oh yeah, of course, some homeless people who would steal anything every now and then. We kind of had to fend them off as well. But the money coming in, especially knowing that a lot of my expenses for uni was covered by my parents, just living off of the money that you get from working on this part-time job. But it all came to an end when I returned back to uni after a brief holiday back in Indonesia. And it was the beginning of my second year when I decided, okay, I need to lock in digital marketing. I need to gain more skills, because just doing uni isn't cutting it anymore. I need to learn hard skills elsewhere. I've decided to quit my part-time job, and yeah, I became unemployed really for a few months. It was not a fun time, I'm telling you now. Then, out of sheer luck, a lot of things falling into place at the right time, at the right place, I landed a job. And this job is probably one of my proudest jobs that I've ever landed really. And it was working as an intern at Sevenpreneur. The story of how I got this job position, right? A friend of mine actually worked there. He was also an intern there. So I saw this job listing from the website. Thought to myself, if I asked for a referral from my friend, maybe they can put in some good word in for me. And I got into contact with the CMO of Sevenpreneur. So he interviewed me for a little bit and gave me an assignment, basically just to test out if I'm a good candidate or not. I guess they saw something in me that made them thought, yeah, we're going to give you a chance. I became a digital marketing intern at Sevenpreneur. It was from May of this year up until early November of this year. So yeah, my contract ended like a few days ago. So how was it working there? It was very eye-opening, to say the least. The amount of experience that I got just from working 6 months at Sevenpreneur. So under the guidance of my digital marketing lead, cool dude, he's very awesome. I actually developed a few digital marketing campaigns, but this job specifically was actually intended to be remote. But when I got back to Indonesia a few months ago, happened to be in Indonesia for a little bit longer than when I went back home last year, for a month and a half, that is. So I've decided I might as well spend a lot of my time in the office. So away I go from Surabaya to the beautiful city of Jakarta, which is dying of pollution at the minute, but it's still nonetheless beautiful city. After meeting a lot of people there, I even met the co-founder, the founder himself. I got to meet a lot of new friends, new people. It has opened my eyes, which I've talked about in a previous video that I've made. The differences in what it means to live in a small city to a city where shit actually happens. There's just a lot of good stuff that you can learn from them. My chapter has closed, and working with Sevenpreneur, wherever they're going next, I wish them the best. Back to the main reason on why I am I'm recording this video, what kinds of skills that I've learned from these jobs that I've done and or any other positions that I was in. First, half experience as I would call it, and running a dropshipping business with my friend. So first and foremost, have a look at your suppliers, more so an importance in being detail oriented. I mean, we didn't know any better. We were 15-year-olds. We would basically just jump on any opportunity that would make us money, really. And yeah, we didn't thoroughly do any research on how the market is. Decided to dive heads in first into a really goddamn shallow pool. I learned that being detail oriented is always a must, especially if you really want to compete in a very competitive world. One detail that I actually forgot, actually the quality of the cases itself. It was probably one of the biggest reasons on why we stopped. They were not good, man. They were really poorly made. Now, what did I learn from running my e-commerce store? And this is more of a soft skill that I've learned, more so a lesson in life. A lot of material things don't actually give you happiness. I was very consumerist when I was young. I really wanted to buy this and that, and after just a few months, sometimes even days of using them, I would just be dead bored with them. The same goes of when back in the day I really liked changing mobile phones. It's almost as if I wanted to have the newest and greatest thing. Well, not necessarily the greatest because I didn't have the money. So I decided to go for low to mid-range phones. I just want new ones every year. It was quite embarrassing, really, because it basically shows how much of a kid I was back in the day. I've turned a new leaf. I now have this iPhone, which I paid a little bit more money than what you would pay for a mid-ranger or something else, but I'm going to keep it for years and years and years to come, until the time I actually really need to change my phone. Same goes for this laptop, which is thanks again, mom. She bought me this laptop and I plan on using this until this shit breaks. Luckily, neurons in my brain actually connected and found a way to be more resourceful. Come to appreciate actually being frugal in life. I come to appreciate to actually be more considerate of how you spend your money. Does it translate to businesses? I could say so. I mean, I don't have any extensive experience in running a business, especially a lot of money's already involved. I'm sure that experience itself gave me a deeper appreciation of money. Now, what did I learn? When I was in Greg's, I learned to be patient. Customers, look, they're not stupid. At least, I hope they're not. But some customers would just ask for stupid requests. And hey, I'm not going to blame them for that, because me, myself, I like to make stupid requests as well. I've also learned, budgeting. I've learned budgeting. Ever since I've earned my own money, I try to, separate the allowance that my parents gave me and also the money that I've earned, and make sure that I spend the least amount of money from my parents, because at the end of the day I'm going to send them back. But what I was trying to say is, hard-earned money seems to be more satisfying to be spent. Spending my own money in buying things like this phone, I can say that this phone itself is a product of my work over the months, really. I've learned that businesses is actually just a profitable system, really. When you look at Greg's, when you look at McDonald's, Burger King, any other fast food retail chains, they always have these systems put in place to make the most money, to make the most out of their employees, such as myself. Every inch, every bit that can help you generate more profit for the business, really. And I can kind of see that even as a team member, just a part-time team member of the company. I've come to appreciate it, really. Now, last but not least is my experience as an intern, a digital marketing intern at Sevenpreneur. Look, I'm going to save you the stuff about hard skills in digital marketing, such as meta ads, or maybe just copywriting or whatever. It's more so inspiration. I get so much inspiration with the people I've worked with in this company. I've basically finally delved my foot into networking. It's kind of like a stepping stone for me to develop my career, develop my skills in the workplace. To conclude this video, I just want to say that apart from the hard skills that you gain from these experiences, such as maybe logistics. I've also yet to mention that I've learned about logistics, price negotiating, delivering presentations and whatever. Apart from those hard skills, it's more so the soft skills that you can look into. These soft skills actually have shaped me now. The skills that are transferable between any jobs that you have, it all comes back to focusing on what you have right in front of you. You have to be meticulous in whatever it is that you do, and be present. So yeah, everyone, this is basically my career checkpoint over the past, let's say, three years. Not necessarily if you actually count the one I tried back in junior high, but there you have it. I am officially unemployed again. I have 1 year left in uni. I plan on finding a job or just trying to be more entrepreneurial with anything that I pursue. Truly, I'm just very interested in gaining skills and, to actually have money to live on a day-to-day basis. But yeah, I guess I'm just at this stage of my life and I need to focus in on my uni. Maybe it's time for me to find another part-time job. With all that said, this is my career checkpoint for the first 3 or 4 years of trying to make my own money. I'm probably going to do this often, every few years or so, maybe even next year when I get more experiences to tell. But other than that, thus concludes my main topic of this video, which leads to my announcement in this video. A few videos ago, I've made a decision to create my own SKOOL community, and I am very regretful to tell you that I have decided to close my community for the time being. Hey everyone, video editor Nelson here. I just want to quickly check in because now that I am editing this video, apparently my brain wasn't doing English too well at that moment, because when I say I'm closing the community, it's not as if I'm going to not take in any more memberships or anything, but it's more so I actually am completely shutting down my community. I'm completely disbanding it. So yeah, poof, gone, no more community. I hope I don't sound too bad because I actually have a cold right now. Cheers. The reason behind why I am closing this community is basically I just couldn't justify paying $100 for something that I didn't work on intently. The part when I said a few videos ago about creating an online community is way better than just creating YouTube videos, I still 100% believe in. But the community itself, in being about focusing on digital marketing and entrepreneurship, it's both a combination of literally lack of skills and experience, and also, if I'm being completely honest, is imposter syndrome. After giving it a thorough thought, I'm sorry, but I'm closing the community for now. And the fact that the community that I've decided to make is about digital marketing and entrepreneurship, if I'm being completely honest, it doesn't really give me that itch to wake up every day in the morning and working on the community, building it as best as I can. Because in digital marketing, I just find that working with clients, working with other people and helping their businesses, basically operating as an agency, is the way to go. So maybe at a later stage, I can reopen back my community. But luckily for you, anyone who's viewing this video, I have basically a few materials that I wanted to go through in my community. I've basically decided to do them all on YouTube. So I'm going to really narrow in my focus. I'm a third year uni student, so dissertation's coming. I'm going to attend my very first catechumen classes next week. Yeah, Thursday next week. It's 7th of November. So if this video is uploaded by then, or whenever it is uploaded, just pray for me. I hope that you'll pray for me, and I hope that I can convert to Catholicism and be a better Christian. So I'll see you then. Bye bye, people.